Are paparazzis also part of PR
Oh
machinery?
yes, paparazzis are part of the PR machinery, and they just do not come to the airport. The Bangla film that we worked at the very beginning of our PR careers was Choker Bali. And at that point of time, there was no agency in Calcutta who was handling the PR and marketing for Bangla films. The most interesting incident was that Aishwarya Rai was kept in the wraps. And তখন telegraphe Aranya Sen was the metro photographer, and he was with us. Ashok Mujumdar was the Kolkata page Anandabazar Potrika photographer. Pink was an astonishing campaign across the country. Pink was actually not a campaign, it was more like a movement.
If you're looking at modern office spaces in Kolkata, if you are looking at a reliable virtual office space, if you are looking at an office which is equipped to handle all your needs, then look no further than Easy Daftar in Kolkata. Special thanks to Easy Daftar for being our venue partner for today's episode. I'm sitting down with Paromita. She's the founder of Candid Communications, and she has more than 2 decades of rich experience in the field of PR and marketing. Hi, Paramita. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. And it's such a pleasure to meet somebody with whom I have a lovely working experience.
Right.
I'm so happy to see your new podcast series. And I'm very excited to be on your show.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I loved it.
Thank you so much. So, Paramita, you've previously worked in a PR agency, and then
Right.
for the past 2 decades, you've started something of your own.
Right.
What made you decide back then that you rather work for yourself and not work for any other company?
See, to be very honest with you, I consider Genesis, Burson, Marsteller as my alma mater.
Okay.
Because whatever I have learned about public relations in my short stint of 1.5 years with them, I learned with them. And Prema Sagar, the founder of Genesis, Burson Marsteller, is basically an icon in the world of PR. And back then, 22 years ago, when I started working for Genesis in Delhi and Kolkata, I was servicing Vodafone. Their subsequent switch from Command to Hutch.
Okay, yeah.
And my job association was based out of Calcutta office, as well as all my trainings were in Delhi. So when I worked with them, my growth pattern, my learning was very fast. Because to be very honest with you, Calcutta at that point of time was not that evolved. There were very few PR agencies here. There were more senior journalists who were working as independent PR persons. And there were a few national PR agencies who had satellite company offices in Kolkata. However, when I started working in the Calcutta market, I realized that there was this vast SME sector which was completely not catered to by the PR vehicle.
Right.
Because national agencies only wanted to work with corporates. And there were very few corporates who were working with independent PR people.
Correct.
They were working for national agencies who had small offices in Calcutta. So I realized that if I need to grow my trajectory and my path, then I would need to start out on my own and cater to this vast SME market. So the reason that my company Candid grew so fast over the years is because we catered to people in places who did not have PR solutions at that point of time. So the first big Bengali film, the Bangla film that we worked at the very beginning of our PR careers was Choker Bali. And at that point of time, there was no agency in Calcutta who was handling the PR and marketing for Bangla films.
Okay.
It was a first. There were always independent PR individuals who were working for Bangla films.
Right. Like more consultants rather than agency.
Completely. So first time we took up the work as an agency, and Venkatesh Films was our client. And we have learned a lot from Muni Bhaiya and Shrikant Bhaiya from their Waterloo office. Shrikant Bhaiya actually taught us how to write the Bangla press release, sitting in his office in Waterloo Street. So again, that was that time, when we looked for work which was not hitherto there. So the big sporting events, the Maradona Tour, continuing to Diego Forlan and Branco and Romario, the India-Japan World Qualifier, and then moving on to the Messi first trip, and so on. All these big international events again, the first time a PR agency was working. Then, of course, with Joy and with Malavika and Jeet, we were entrusted with the PR for Kolkata Knight Riders. All of this was a first for us. And again, there was no PR agency in Calcutta who was working for a sporting company at that point of time. We were the first. We were handling, very interestingly, the assignment was not to promote IPL, but it was to take care and protect the interests of the sponsors, because everybody wanted to cover IPL, everybody wanted to cover SRK, and at that point of time, Saurav Ganguly and the Black and Gold Brigade. It was
Yeah.
big time in the news, and it
Yeah.
was frenzy, complete frenzy. But the sponsors who were making such a big sporting event a reality, they were left out in the open. Nobody was covering their events. Nobody was covering their forte. So we were brought in for that.
Okay.
So that is how
Okay.
we established ourselves, by taking care of the independent sponsors who were putting in money in a big way, so that big events happened in Calcutta. So some of the largest events at that point of time were taken care of by us. Also, if you'd ask me, in the earlier days, what drew our path was the fact that we could provide services, PR services, in places like Guwahati, in Siliguri, in Patna, in Bhubaneswar. So these are markets which helped us grow, because when somebody came to Calcutta, they needed subsequent PR services in these markets.
Right.
So because we had the solution and we could reach out to them, that is how our initial years were developed, and that is how we grew.
Right. So I've observed a weird thing in Calcutta, so in Bombay, Delhi, or any other places,
Right.
if you go to a good restaurant or a good, say, a pub, the person at the front desk who receives you is generally known as a guest relations executive or whatever it is,
Yeah.
In Calcutta, you go to a good, decent restaurant or you
Right.
go to a good pub, the one who receives you at the gate or who takes on your reservations, they're known as PR.
Yeah.
Why?
I'll tell you, it's basically because my market is still not very evolved with the demands that they have from public relations as a
Exactly.
division. They're not very evolved.
I think
So,
they're not aware what PR is, I think, in the end of
A,
the day.
that, and B, what happens is that with the dwindling importance of the print media, which basically is considered as the mainstay of PR.
Right, right.
Which
right.
again is a fallacy.
Yes,
It's a
absolutely,
fallacy because
yes.
the print media is only a part
Part
of
of
PR.
the PR.
However, the large part of the customer base that we are working with, they think and they assume that print media is the base of the PR machinery.
Correct.
And no matter how much we have moved to the digital sphere, because all my national and regional clients are now demanding A-line, national print and online media.
Obviously.
However, my regional clients are still hell-bent on the
Print.
print media in Calcutta. So I would say that this is something that we are ill aware of. We think that the person who brings business to the restaurant is the PR. However, that is supposed to be your sales personnel.
Exactly.
That is your sales promotional personnel. That is your front office.
Exactly.
The people who take your sales calls are not your PR people.
So do you ever get flustered when you're a PR professional and you see somebody at the restaurant right in the front desk, with all due respect, you have a different term, but they are also being called PR. Don't you get flustered? Don't you get bothered by this? Because it's only in Calcutta. In no city will they be called PR.
I don't think they are called PR in Siliguri either. But if you ask me if you're flustered, then I'll say ki dekho, to be very honest with you, my client is always right. Okay? So if my client thinks like this, then I can't be flustered. I have to address his thought, because my client is giving me business and my client thinks like this. So I have to try and understand his psychology. I have to try and understand that what is he looking at. Recently, we handled the PR for a restaurant launch in Gadiahat, and when we made the first pitch, and that client has been a client, so now you know that restaurants have multiple owners.
Yeah.
So there are 4 or 5 owners for a restaurant.
Right.
So my client has been one of the owners of multiple restaurants which I have opened in the same area. So these are all Bengali specialty restaurants. So they serve the Bengali thali. So about 4 or 5 such restaurants that I have already serviced, she was one of the owners.
Okay.
So their first question to me was, "Acha, amader opening e koto bhir hobe?"
How can they ask you that
They
question?
asked me that. And they kept asking me that for the entire launch period, which was 55 days. So my entire launch
And what
process.
was your answer to that?
I was actually still thinking of answers. I'm still thinking of them. So I tried to answer them for 55 days till my project lasted. And then I'm still trying to create and evaluate answers for her. And I realized that, for them, they think that your PR is your salesperson.
Exactly. They think PR is your salesperson.
Yes.
They think marketing team is your salesperson.
Yes.
They think advertising team is your salesperson.
Absolutely. And they do not understand the difference between marketing and advertisement.
Exactly.
Forget about understanding the difference between PR
exactly,
and advertisement.
exactly, absolutely.
They don't understand marketing. So I don't expect them to understand.
They
PR.
put marketing and sales in the same bracket.
Right. So if you'll ask me that how am I handling this and how am I moving forward, I always look at it as the fact that this is my client. And my point number A is that my client is not always correct. And my point number B is that if my client is incorrect, then follow point number 1. So you go back to the fact to try and understand what is this question. Please develop an answer.
What
and
we'll do
handle
for
it.
everybody watching this, let's break it down. What is PR?
See, to be very honest with you, if you'll ask me what is PR, PR is communication. PR is creating relationships, and PR is credibility. So your content, your PR content is something with which you are communicating to your stakeholders. You are taking your USPs, your product details, your company values as communication to your immediate stakeholders.
Right.
So your stakeholders could be your customers, they could be your employees, they could be your investors, they could be media at large. So first step is communication. The next step is creating relationships. With PR and only with PR, you can create relationships with each of your stakeholders.
Correct.
Because it's not just sales, it's belief, it's faith. So when the noise ends, the faith stays. So today you are reaching out to your client who has 5 different toothpastes on the same shelf where he's visiting every time he is shopping for groceries, and they have equal budgets when it comes to visibility in terms of advertisement, in terms of social media, in terms of what all. But there are stories which stay on with you way beyond the advertisement or the communication lasts. That story is what dispels the noise and creates the faith. And this as a division, this as a demeanor can only be created through PR. The art of powerful storytelling is public relations, because it's PR through which you can create that faith, you can create that belief, you can create that relationship, which creates your association over a period of time for a product.
Right.
Beyond that, the third thing is credibility. Credibility is, why is it very important in today's day and age? Because you're in the world of excessive information influx. You are bombarded with information all the time. And let me tell you that the recent customer base has a better knowledge of correct information compared to my generation.
Correct.
Trust me, my 15-year-old who is in class 11 in the heritage school understands incorrect information immediately. This generation is way more educated, technologically advanced to dispel through wrong information. But credibility in PR is something that helps us dispel this myth. Choose the correct information and ensure that your customer base reads that. In this world of excessive information, paid information, being bombarded with information left, right, and center, credibility can be created through a good story, which can create faith and stay back with you to create a relationship.
Right.
So if you'll ask me what is the breakdown of PR, then these are the 3 important values of it.
Right. How important is paid PR, and is it important at the end of the day?
See, to be very honest with you, PR can be paid and unpaid, and as a community of public relations professionals, marketing professionals, communications professionals, I cannot tell you that paid PR is not important.
Correct.
Paid PR is important, but what happens is that paid PR can bring you to an immediate level of visibility. However, please understand that all the 5 products can bring you to that level of paid PR
Right.
and bring you to that stage where you have equal visibility right up front. And then your customer base watches
Right.
you.
But visibility is not credibility.
Yes. So then what happens is that what is that one thing that spearheads you ahead?
Yeah.
That over a period of time, when you create that faith and create that belief in the system, can only be achieved through PR. And what happens is that a story which is created by a third party through consumption, through accessibility, through information, and through experience will have a longer lasting effect. It is an unpaid promotion, it is an organic story, and it will have a longer lasting impact.
Right.
However, I cannot say that we can rest today without paid PR, because immediately at one particular, see, your starting line is there for everyone. So if you say that with unpaid PR you start beyond your starting line, that means you're starting at a disadvantage.
Right.
So I wouldn't suggest that. I would say that you bring all the products up front, give them a clear starting line, and then let's start working from there.
Right.
So yes, a mix of both paid and unpaid PR is essential, but the story that will create the biggest impact over a period of time is an organic story for sure.
Right. Are paparazzis also part of PR machinery?
Oh yes, paparazzis are part of the PR machinery, and they just do not arrive, and they just do not come to the airport.
Do you mean to say all the paparazzis, whether they're outside the airport, gyms, salons, whatever, everything is paid?
Yeah, no, they are connected by us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are informed.
But everybody's informed?
Yes, they are.
100%.
They have a system. They are informed. They have to be. So say suppose Tinte Doshe, you're in the morning, you have come to the Kolkata airport from a Middle Eastern flight. How would they know that you are there if you have not informed them? And you would see that they are still there if you're 6 hours late on that flight. So they are informed.
तो हम जो वो देखते हैं, अरे आप इधर, so all of that.
That is a part of the game.
Okay.
That's a part of the game. But yes, paparazzi as a culture is important. It's fun. It brings in the glamour and the chutzpah to our communication, which sometimes can get very boring and repetitive. So they are fun. Let them be there. I enjoy their presence. Yeah. It's good fun.
I think, and we all like to consume that. Everybody likes it. If you have somebody saying that we don't, then perhaps I think there's
I have personally myself been really surprised by their presence when I have not informed them. At that point of time, the artists have called them directly.
Oh, okay, right. So, Kolkata as a city, how different is it from, say, Delhi, Mumbai, Hyderabad, or Bangalore, when it comes to dealing with PR agencies?
See, if you will ask me how different is Kolkata from
also,
Delhi, Bombay,
just
Bangalore,
to add on, and the money aspect as well.
Right. So, if you ask me how different it is from Kolkata, is from other cities in terms of PR agencies, I would suggest as different as they are in the dealing of advertising agencies or marketing agencies or design companies or any other vendors. So, my client does not have any specific antipathy to a PR company. So my client deals with all agencies in that same format that they believe in. They do believe in sales over and above marketing. They do believe in immediate results over and above brand building. They believe in immediate sales over and above creating a value or creating a long-lasting impact. Because my market, see, to be very honest with you, let's take a 35-seater restaurant. Let's take a 35-seater restaurant, which is one of the 15 Bengali restaurants in Gadiahat. So if you'll ask me that why do they want to make their maximum noise in the first 3 months? Why do they not want to be known as a very good restaurant serving very good food over a period of time?
Exactly.
Why? Tar karonta hocche they might not last beyond 3 months. My market is such. It is so aggressive. We only see the 400 new restaurants which have opened in the land.
We don't see the story
after.
We
don't see the ones which have shut down.
And most shut down. Yes.
So in all the popular malls, in all the popular restauranting arenas, there are multiple such stores which are also shutting down. So if you'll tell me that do you believe in the fact that they need immediate gratification, I would suggest to you that please understand that they might not be there to see the long-lasting impact on their brand. They might have to wrap up before that. So, which is why their focus on immediate gratification. There are very few people. I have some clients who have been able to create a very strong brand because they have been patient and their food has sold. You'd be very happy to know that as an agency, I have been servicing specialty restaurants all over Eastern India for all their brands for nearly 17, 18 years now.
Wow.
There are a few of their brands with whom I'm working for more than 20 years. Okay, so this is a brand whose food has connected. Name any brand that they have launched over the last few. Explain the success of Bizarre Asia. It's bizarre. There are so many restaurants serving all you can eat buffets in my city. But see a 350-seater restaurant, which is an all you can eat Asian buffet in Salt Lake, being completely full over lunch and dinner on weekdays. That is the kind of faith that their food has created. So this is a brand which has faith in their own product. They want good stories. They're willing to wait for you to churn out a good story for them. They're willing to understand that you probably will give them a little more visibility over a period of time as on against today. But there are also some brands who I understand and I empathize with because they might not last beyond 3 months. So what would they do with a review in a national magazine 3 months later if they have wrapped up in 45 days because they couldn't pay rent?
So then why open in the place? Why open in the first place, and why engage with any agency in the first place?
See, to be very honest with you, they really don't want to engage with any agency. They want to engage with people who can bring in footfalls. That is all that they want. So, a lot of people, they don't understand the difference between a WhatsApp marketing company and a PR company. That's fine. Whatever sells.
And do you think this is the case only in Calcutta? Or this is,
or
maybe a little more in Calcutta?
I have worked with restaurants in Guwahati. I've worked with restaurants in Jamshedpur. I've worked with restaurants in Raipur, in Siliguri. I've not really faced this there. You could, if you ask me what is the reason.
I was about to ask you this question. Yeah.
If you ask me what is the reason, I would say that it's this mad rush to open restaurants, which we are going through as a phase right now. A few of the ones who have been able to create good products actually have lasted. And they have come up with very good products and they're doing very well. But is this mad rush? Everybody is right now opening a restaurant. So we have to give it some time to settle down. And once the that blitzkrieg has settled down around us, we will see that we will be left with a few good brands.
Right. In terms of the job opportunities in the world of PR, and I'm talking nationally, you can then break it down to city specific. What is the future of jobs in PR?
See, to be very honest with you, the number of people whom I have worked with as a part of Candid and Candid by Paromita in the last 23, 24 years, they have all landed up with corporate communications jobs in very, very good companies after their PR expertise.
Okay.
So if you'll ask me what is the growth path for a person who's interested in a PR job, I would suggest that should start at the internship stage. You should utilize your academic degree very well with a good internship in a good organization where you will get an introduction to the industry. Why you need that? Because first you need to understand whether you're cut out for the industry or not.
Right.
So, beyond the chutzpah and the glamour and this very exciting, if when people walk into my office and they tell me that, I'll do this and I'll do that and I'll do this and I'll do that, I have to tell them that very fine, my love, you will do all of this, but you have to do all of this on Friday, Saturday and Sunday.
Exactly.
From day in and day out for a period of time, and it can get very difficult. It can get very cumbersome. It can get very suffocating. Also, our deadlines are bizarre because the stories are filed at 9 p.m.
Yes.
They come back to you with corrections by 10:30 and so on. And crisis can happen at any point of time.
And you have to be ready to deal with it.
You have to be ready to deal with it. Also, the client wants A to be printed. The media wants to know B. And your press release is C. And the only one who knows all the three versions is you. And the other one is not interested. A doesn't want to read B, B doesn't want to read A, and none of them want to read C. So you are the mediator. So you are the tissue paper. You are drawing in all the blood. You have to soak it in. So if you'll ask me that as a PR person, first you do the internship to find out my
Whether
child,
you're suited
yes,
at
whether
all.
you have the temperament to take it all in.
Hmm.
There are some people who are natural listeners, natural
Hmm.
communicators. Over a period of time, you love meeting people. You love the various three versions. So this madness has a method, and you are somebody who enjoys that. Then welcome.
Do you think our
Come
current
on board.
generation is suited?
To be very honest with you, yes, I have seen a few people. So I do a lot of induction sessions with media science colleges
Mhm.
across the city. Name it, and I induct the new batches with them, whether it is a St. Xavier's University or an NSHM or an SNU or a Techno or a Xavier's or an ISWBM, Kolkata University, and so on, Heritage. So I meet students who come and tell me that, how would I know if I am, suited for PR? I tell them that if you're somebody who starts your communication process by listening, then you are suited for PR. And during the interview process, I always tell them that I will actually be not looking out for your ability. I will be looking out for your intention. And the intention of a candidate is very clear only in the internship stage.
Okay.
Because
okay.
the moment they come into the office and you'll see that they are enjoying the AC and the internet and whiling away their time, you know that no, this is not the person interested.
Totally agree.
So when they come into the office space and they come and tell you, hi, I don't have anything to do right now, can I help you? And that's your person. It's not the ability, it's the interest. It's the intention. You can add value only if you want to, not always when you are able to. It's very important. And this is something that I have learned over a period of time. I don't go by your abilities.
Right.
Because your intention qualifies you for me and not your ability.
Wow.
Absolutely clear about it. After 2.5 decades in the industry, I have no second thoughts about this. I have seen people who are very hardworking, who are probably a bit slow, who have shone far brighter.
So if you have to choose between hard work and talent, you'll choose hard work.
I'll choose hard work any day. I'll choose hard work any day. So what happens is that also it is the way you are built. It's the way you are built. When you'll see somebody at an event, there are a few who'll stick to their corner and they'll tell you, "Ita to amar kaj noy. Boss, run. Run. Just run. Run away. Far away." There are a few people who will keep running throughout the event, looking for work.
Working for work.
Okay, किधर में क्या भी कुछ भी गलत हो रहा है, you'll see that person fitting in.
Solve कर या नहीं कर पाए, but वो लोग हैं उधर.
That's all right.
There.
I am fine with that. At least when there is no chair, there's somebody who's running and saying कि boss, there's no chair, let me try and help. वो बहुत जरूरी है. And there are some people who say, chair? वो कहाँ है? वो क्या होता है? I'm not supposed to drag chairs at an event. Correct. I've come from like XYZ, graduate from XYZ school. हो गया. You've cleared. Fine. Okay. Move on.
तो PR में एक्सेल करने के लिए मास्टर्स डिग्री जरूरी होता है?
Not really. PR में एक्सेल करने के लिए मास्टर्स डिग्री जरूरी नहीं है.
अगर आपको टॉप लेवल पे जॉब करना है तो भी नहीं जरूरी.
See, to be very honest with you, in my organization, I have always had people who have grown from.
Obviously, you in fact, you said that for you intention matters more than skill. Yes, but I'm taking on a general level, like overall. Otherwise,
if you'll ask me whether master's degree is not important, I wouldn't say that. See, what happens is that for me, experience in a PR company or a media company is very important.
Right.
Okay, because I honestly, we have to hustle a lot to create a certain amount of business in a place like Calcutta. Because the ticket size of every business is very small.
Very small.
So, to create the same amount of business that a Bombay agency would do with 2 clients, we have to handle 20 clients.
That like
yes, 20 clients.
10 times?
Yes, 10 times. 10 times. And when I have one good national client, then we like take off. We do holidays.
Okay.
So, okay, हाँ, अभी अच्छा काम आया तो थोड़ा छुट्टी बना लो. So what happens is that in this hustle, the basics are something that I assume that you will know.
Right.
So today ChatGPT has solved that problem where they are not giving me half-baked English or they are not giving me half-baked literature. They are at least feeding it into ChatGPT and coming back to me with something which is acceptable, which again I have to send it back to see whether it is copied from ChatGPT because my client is not going to accept it. So that is there for me. But what I'm just trying to tell you is that if you'll ask me whether master's degree is essential in this growth path, then yes, definitely at one point of time, some amount of management skills matters. So that is when you are handling a client. That is when you need to draft strategies. That is when media relations is very important, but media relationship needs to be married to your PR communication strategy,
Right.
which is the overview that you need to create, and that managerial skills matters then.
Right.
So yes, it is important. But if you'll ask me that whether you would only hire somebody who's completed a master's degree in communication, then the answer for me is no.
Is there like a hidden truth of the PR industry which nobody knows?
Yes, the hidden truth of the PR industry is the fact that there are no holidays, there are no deadlines, there are no timings, and you can only excel in PR if you think beyond the assignment.
Okay. Okay.
So there are some jobs where you really need to do very good with your assignment. A PR is something that you need to think about your client, and you need to move beyond the assignment. You need to add value. You need to think. So while you're having dinner with your friends, you need to think that you are servicing X such restaurant where you have noticed some flaw today, which you need to go and tell them tomorrow that
Right.
do you guys do this, or do you guys follow this as a principle? So this constant thinking about your clients is basically that something that people will not tell you about. You have absolutely to breathe, think, and believe in your client at all the time. And also, the authenticity of the data is very important. It is very essential. For me, I have written contracts with clients where I am responsible for the data. And that is a crazy reality and truth. All the information that you're dealing with around you is not correct. And the more you are dealing with information technology, the more apps that you're working with, the authenticity of the data is becoming an essential skill. So you need to constantly stay on a high alert on the data that you are giving out to the media. So say you are doing a press conference for a listed company, and that one wrong report with a one wrong data can actually pull down their stock prices.
Has it ever happened
It
to you?
it hasn't happened to me, but yes, it has happened in my work life, where I have seen that it has happened to, we have all seen what has happened with wrong data going out into the wrong videos being shared, wrong lives being aired.
Yes.
So all of this is, to be very honest with you, not mentioned in your contract, but you are the custodian of that data. It is going through you, every little thing. And what will happen that you have submitted a press release 2 weeks ago,
Yes.
and the client has given it to you, gone through it, checked it, and sent it, and that story is being filed at 12 in the midnight, or 2 weeks later, and your client is maybe in Vietnam, and he's out of internet, and then somebody tells you এখন আমায় 1 মিনিটের মধ্যে এটা approval চাও. So you are the custodian, so you can't breathe easy. These are those truths of PR where life is beyond a fashion show, life is beyond a party,
the glitz and glamour,
and your social media is the most misjudged thing about you. My people tell me ke oh Paromita, wow kya life hai, aap to party karte rehte ho din bhar. And I'm like looking at them that, oh dude, yeah, of course. That's what they think. Aapka social media. Achha, one more very interesting thing is that there are days that, like say just before the puja, those 2 weeks it happened with us, that we had within a period of 10 days some 16, 17 events. And before that, for 6 months, I was knocking down every client's door that the pujas are coming and these are the deadlines I needed before that. Nobody responded. But everybody wanted to do something in those 10, 15 days.
Obviously.
And that is when the rare truth hits you, that how do you ensure 100% efficacy? How do you ensure 100% correctness? How do you ensure 100% delivery for all the clients within those 10 days? So these things happen. You have to be prepared for that. You have to be mentally prepared for that. And no matter how hard you try, no matter how early you start knocking them, they will come back to you in those 10 days. So it's like, हाँ पता है माल्या है, but मेरा तो अभी खत्म हो रहा है दुकान का काम. So you are prepared. You are mentally prepared. These are those truths which people will not tell you. You have been talking to him for 3 months, but he'll come back to you महालया के 2 दिन पहले कि अभी तो आपको निकाल के देना है मेरा, कैसे भी निकालो. आप बोलोगे तो हो जाएगा. They know नहीं होगा. They're just pressurizing you by saying that. They all know this, but that is when they want it. So these are your big months. These are your big dates. You know that you have to be prepared for it. That is an additional pressure. Also, the other thing that clearly happens is that when you have on the same dates 8 to 10 assignments, then the team is overworked. The team is overworked. They cannot maintain their 100% efficacy. But आपको उन्हीं 10 दिन में सारा काम मिलेगा. वो 10 दिन निकल गया, आप बैठो फिर.
तो आप एक बात बताओ, जैसे कि स्पेशली लास्ट 10 साल में जब से सोशल मीडिया और ज़्यादा मतलब फैला है, तो मेंटल हेल्थ एडवोकेट्स बहुत ज़्यादा हो गए, जो सही भी है. यू नो, एवरीबडी इज टॉकिंग अबाउट वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस एंड गेटिंग देयर लीव्स एंड गेटिंग देयर वीकेंड्स, नॉट वर्किंग बियॉन्ड अ सर्टेन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. But in the media industry, and I'm taking it as the media industry as general, not just PR, marketing या कोई न्यूज़ चैनल में कोई इसमें, ये पॉसिबल नहीं होता है. ये रियलिटी है. So then how do people in the media industry have this? How do they manage their life?
See, I'll be very honest with you. What do I do as an employer is that I'm making you work on a Sunday. I give you a Monday off or a Tuesday off or a Wednesday off. The other thing is that you can't all take off together.
That's common.
So, but आपने काम लेकिन संडे चारों ने मिलके किया है. But आपको छुट्टी क्या है कि मंडे ट्यूसडे वेडनेसडे थर्सडे मिलेगा. Okay? So then you go back on a Monday holiday. Your parents are not at home. Your boyfriend is at office, and you have an off day. So they're not exactly happy. Not exactly happy. But यही है सच. यही सच है.
नहीं पसंद है छोड़ दो फिर.
Yeah. So then what happens is that now what happens is that how do they go on? Because I inform them when I'm hiring them that, dude, your events are on weekends.
Obviously, weekends are always the event filled with events.
Yes, but you don't like a 9 to 5 job. You don't want to work in a bank. Then you enjoy hanging around with celebs and being in the fun and fashion space and in the food space. Then come, my industry is all yours. But you have to understand that you have to extend yourself laterally to adjust to this mad demand of timings. It's fine. It's okay.
But kahin na kahin you have to.
It is an adjustment. But you have to enjoy. Yeah. Nowadays people are bored by most of this, technology driven and a very hugely target driven job space. So if you'll ask me about that, then my work life is hectic. But it's insanely enjoyable as well.
Obviously. How was your experience with working on Choker Bali with Rituda and also working with Shujitda?
I'll tell you about working with Paromita Ghosh first. We've done multiple films with him. It was crazy. We worked with him from Choker Bali to last year.
Achha.
So that many films.
Okay.
And let me tell you, the most interesting incident was that, Aishwarya Rai was kept in the wraps. And তখন Telegraphe, Aronno Sen was the, metro photographer. And he was with us. And Ashok Mujumdar was the Kolkata page, Anandabajar Potrika photographer. And these two people would spend with us days after days at the NT1 studio, and they were shooting. They wanted that visual of Aishwarya Rai in the white than. That is what they wanted. And this was a scene which was being shot over a period of 10 days. There was no sound in the atmosphere. He didn't want any one person on the sets, and everybody was hidden. Me, the PR, both the photographers, we were hidden, and the producer was helping us out. And we were actually practically stealing photographs and sharing it with the media.
And Rituda didn't know.
He wouldn't allow us.
Okay.
He wouldn't allow us, and we would say that we don't know what happened the next day, but we really needed that photograph to go because it was front page opportunity.
Obviously, yeah.
And that was the one most important thing. And you also need to know that throughout the promotional schedule of Choker Bali, Aishwarya Rai Bachchan was not present.
Okay.
She was shooting with Amitabh Bachchan and Akshay Kumar for Khaki in Khandala those days.
Right.
And we kept hearing that she would come for some press conference and she didn't turn up for 40 days of that entire promotional schedule. And we just had her and Robindranath as a concept. And that is how we handled. And let me tell you, it has till date been one of our most successful PR campaigns. We got the front page of Time magazine. That ethereal visual of Aishwarya Rai in a white than with all golden jewelry came out as a front page of Time. So it was one of our most successful campaigns. What was the faith and the belief in us? The faith and the belief in us was that the concept of the film was stronger than the
Right.
artist.
Right. Right.
And what happens is that even if Aishwarya Rai Bachchan and Ajay Devgan are working in Rituparna Ghosh's film, nobody is bigger than Rituda. So his belief, his craft, his storyline, his concept is bigger than anything else. And we had that understanding, we had that faith, we believed in it, and we succeeded. And one of the other really successful campaigns that we did was for a film which was very questionably well known. That is a film called Savarya. So it was a film which collided with Om Shanti Om. And as a part of Sony Pictures, we were handling the PR work for Savarya.
Okay.
And we were given a straight diktat that Om Shanti Om is going to be the most successful film. So Savarya has to be the most successful PR campaign.
Okay.
So they knew. They knew even when the film was being released that Om Shanti Om will succeed.
Okay.
And Savarya will not. Because here was a completely blue interiored film which was very dark, and it had two new people who were of course much awaited, but they were new. And again, so the concept of SLB, the concept of Sony Pictures coming to India with their film for the first time, the concept of the two new actors is something that we were given. And we succeeded in coming up with more stories, more anticipated stories on the film compared to the more successful and most obvious Om Shanti Om, which had SRK and Deepika. So these are some films that we have worked with, which was very good. Then, of course, for Shujitda, we did one of his, Aniruddha Roy Chaudhary and Shujitda is one of the most talked about films, which is Pink. Pink was an astonishing campaign across the country. Pink was actually not a campaign, it was more like a movement. So for us, a company like mine, which has 80% women staff, we really believed in Pink as a film, and we gave it our all. And we worked on that film as a part of a movement and not as a part of a film campaign. So it was something that we really learned a lot out of. It was one of our most amazing film campaigns till date. And till today, I feel that a film story, if and only if it can create a relationship with the viewer, then the film sails through.
Right.
Absolutely. So, I recently watched Thama with my son, and he believes in the film. Who cares what I think?
So, my last question would be, if you can help us give, as you were mentioning regional clients, Calcutta clients versus a national client. So if you're getting a campaign to say launch a film or to promote a product or to promote a restaurant,
Right.
how much is, like, in terms of any PR agency, what is the regular retainer rate or the campaign charges if it's in Calcutta versus the campaign charges if it's a national brand? You don't have the exact figures, but maybe a ballpark.
See, I can tell you that a campaign is actually dependent on the media that you buy.
Right.
So what happens is that if you ask me the cost of a press conference, it depends, on the cost of the venue, on the cost of the travel, on the cost of people who are attending it, and the setup. So a large part of the cost is the event cost.
Correct.
So if you'll ask me that, if you tell me that, for a PR launch, how much is the event cost versus the PR cost, it is something like 75-25.
Okay.
So yes, but if you are doing just a pure PR with a press release, then it would be defined by whether it is regional or local or national.
Okay.
The moment it's a national. Even
Let's
if it's
take
a
it as national. Yeah.
If it's a national online campaign, I would charge anything between, for a project, 1.5 to 2 lakhs.
If it's
a national
one, okay.
Okay. If it's a regional and a small restaurant, then it would be 50-55K.
Okay.
And if it would be a regional campaign with 3 or 4 cities, anything between these two.
Right.
But it would be city-wise.
Right. Thank you, Paromita. Thank you so much for coming down to Twisted Truths. We had a great time and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. I loved the questions and the way you candidly asked me about the truths of my industry. And to be very honest with you, there are twisted truths in every industry.
Obviously.
There is
Yeah.
no need to feel that just because it is the media industry, then there are more twists here.
Right.
But yes, there are many twists in very regular, boring 9 to 5 job as well.
Absolutely.
But it's
yes.
just that the glamour and the chutzpah attached to my industry makes it more engaging and entertaining
Right.
and more stalked.
Absolutely. Yes.
So yes, we are living it up,
Uh-huh.
and the additional pressures we enjoy as a part of the benefits of my industry as well.
Right. Do PR professionals really get the actual gossip before any other people do?
We create the gossip.
We can, okay, thank you so much, Paramita. Thank you
Thank you so much. Thank you. All the best. Thank you. Thank you for having me.